Next up is a very special man in my life. In 1983, my life changed considerably when I met your next speaker. Bob Enea is hard to explain. He's a great colleague, he's a great friend. He's always got something that you want to know and a story that you never heard and a determination to get the job done. And he's been trying to do that for the Monterey fishing industry and their families for the whole time I've known him, since 1983. And I want you to get to know him better today. Here is Bob Enea.
But at this time, what we'd like to do is to bring up the new owner of the Western Flyer. And I think this is just a wonderful thing for the community, the fishing community, as well as the Steinbeck and Ricketts community. This is a big deal. It's really a big deal, and we take pleasure in making this announcement. So I'd like to bring up the new owner of the Western Flyer, John Gregg, and his brother Andy. And they'll make a few remarks, but he has purchased the Western Flyer, and he has said that he wants to restore her, bring her to Monterey, and put her on the bay for tours for education. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So, John?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, go ahead. Well, I'm actually not John. I'm Andy Gregg. For the record, I'm the younger one. So, thank you very much. So yeah, we've entered into an agreement to purchase the Western Flyer from the Kehoe family. That transaction's going to close in early April. Actually, it's kind of nice. It's going to close on our dad's 78th birthday, who was launched the same year as the Western Flyer. So it has a particular interest to us. So immediately after we get possession of her, we're going to start the restoration process. We are playing a little catch up here because we got a lot of no's along the way, and then all of a sudden we got a yes. And so it started us scrambling a bit, and we're scrambling a bit. But I can tell you kind of our overall goal, and we'll fill in a lot of details as we go along here. But we're going to operate by a very simple mantra, which is as it was, where it was. We want to bring it back to what it was back in the day. We want to, our initial thought is she's in a really good place to be restored right now. She's in Port Townsend, Washington. She was born up there. She was built of materials up from the Northwest, and it's just a really nice place to have her restored. So we're going to start the restoration process. We're going to be very deliberate about it. We're going to be very accurate about it and historical about it. And people like Bobby are going to really be great assets there. So that's the as it was. The where it was is we feel she belongs here, back here. This is where her home is, and we want to bring her back. We're not sure how long the restoration, we're figuring it'll be a couple years before we get her down here. But that's about it. The overall goal, again, we're still trying to get more definition, but we want it to be a educational and a scientific vessel. We want it to be in a nonprofit setting, and there's a lot of details to be worked out on that, but that's kind of our overall goal. So
that's it. Yeah. Any questions? Yes, sir.
John, can you speak a little bit to where your interest originally came from?
It's probably like most people in this room reading the stories when I was a kid, and these guys were adventurers and scientists, and I grew up with the Apollo stuff going on, and so my heroes were, adventurers and scientists. So it's been a long passion.
Do you have any maritime experience or?
Enough that you would think I would know better than this. I have a research vessel now that's actually moored up in Moss Landing. We do scientific surveys and soil analysis in ports and harbors along the coast. So,
what's it going to cost?
Probably $2 million in a couple of years. That's the best guess. You know how those go. They go up.
We won't know until we start digging in, you know, we haven't been able to yet. We just went up there and poked around and I mean, structurally, it seems
It's
like
pretty
it's in
good,
pretty
yeah.
good shape.
The bones
It's
are
just-
good.
It's
Pretty much original still.
yeah, it's just got, you know, it sank twice. And so it's bearing the scars of that, but a lot of that's superficial, we hope.
The sinking actually helped it because it was filled with mud, and now it's filled with rainwater, which kept the boards moist enough so they didn't pull away and dry rot. So it's actually helped it being full of mud, so. Yes, sir.
What kind of wood is she? Is she western red cedar or?
Mostly spruce, and
Doug fir.
Doug fir, yeah. Both of those, but not too much
Keel is
cedar.
ironwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably know more than we do about how she was built.
Yeah, it takes a couple of years for the wood to actually air dry out, so that's one of the factors where we picked the boatyard up there. They have a large quantity of that wood already drying. Takes about a year per inch of wood, and some of those sections of the ribs and things are, you know, 5 or 6 inches.
How did you guys get involved? Did Bob contact you?
No, we had a kind of a separate journey on this and didn't come together until recently. I'm glad I didn't know about all you guys in the room because I would have put a lot more pressure on me to be successful in this. Failing would have been devastating because there's so much passion about this. For us, it was we'll keep trying and trying and trying, and it wasn't life or death like it would have been if I would have known how much passion surrounded this project. Yes.
Will you be documenting the restoration process?
Yep, yeah, we've had a film crew in there already. We're having to take, there's quite a bit of like hazardous waste inside the hull, and that's coming out this week, so that's all started.
Is there some place that we can follow the restoration process? Like, is it documented online or anything?
We're not that well thought out, but we're
We
trying.
will, we will. I don't even have a Facebook page, so, you know, we're trying to, you know, our wives and daughters will help us with that.
Bob, what kind of day is this for you?
Well, this is a great day, and I also feel it's important for my Uncle Tony. He really wanted to be at the helm, at the wheel when we brought her into Monterey. That was the plan. As he was getting older and older, you know, we started to realize that he wasn't going to be able to jump off one boat onto the Western Flyer anymore. He was, you know, getting up there in years. So we determined that the best way to do it was to pull into Santa Cruz, tie up at the harbor, at the Santa Cruz wharf, and then get him on board, and then get him up on the deck, or up on the bridge at the wheel, and then he would have been real happy. But his daughter Geraldine, my cousin Geraldine, she's extremely happy, and she feels that Uncle Tony knows that the Western Flyer is coming back to Monterey.
Well, you better find somebody to drive it, because you don't want us doing it.
Well, I think my cousin Geraldine would probably be one of the best persons to do that, because she's passionate about the boat, and she's passionate about her dad and his legacy up with the Western Flyer and the trip to the Sea of Cortez with Steinbeck and Ricketts and Tiny and Sparky.
Will it be moored right here in the harbor, Monterey Harbor?
Probably.
We haven't gotten that far yet, though, so.
We're gonna be, as interlopers in this process, we're gonna, you know, take advice of a lot of the people that have been involved in it for a long time, so.
Will it be open to the public?
Early on, we contacted the city of Monterey and talked to officials there. And there's actually two places, either on Fisherman's Wharf, which is probably not the best place, but the Monterey Boatyard there at the breakwater is probably the ideal place. The only other place would be on the new wharf, but the surge there is so bad at some periods that it would really put the boat in danger because banging up against the piling. So probably where it's protected in the Monterey Boatyard would probably be the best option.
Will it be open to tourists?
You know, we're kind of sensitive to that. We're talking about it, and we're seeking counsel people here. I kind of don't want to see it hoard out doing sunset cruises and whale watches. I'd rather keep it to what I think its mission should be, is more of a scientific educational role. So we have groups of people that go out in it, and I see a bunch of kids on it most of the time.
So you actually want to see it as a vessel on the water, not more
Yes.
staying there?
No, it's a real vessel. It's going to be seaworthy. We're gonna put a modern electric hybrid engine, so it'll be electric powered.
I wanna talk with you guys after
Yeah,
this.
so we're,
I have an idea.
Yeah, Bob, you gentlemen should answer the question. What kind of facilities do you need to restore it? I mean, what kind of proximity do you need? I mean, immediate proximity. Does it need to be like at the Boatworks, or does it?
it'll go in different phases. Right now, where the hull is in, sort of tricky shape, we can't move it very much, so it'll have to, most of the work will have to take place up there. It's not to say some of the finishing work can't be done elsewhere, but
So it's fragile right now?
it's just, we're just being careful with it, it's- Yes, sir.
I know this is too far ahead, but your role of DIP as an educational vessel is fabulous. I'm wondering if you plan to start your own nonprofit and run it as a separate entity, or if you'd like to integrate.
He's the lawyer, that's what we're working on now.
Because there's a lot of marine science institutions here, including the aquarium and Lovari, that I'm sure would be happy
Yeah.
to be involved and help, and there are skippers and so on. So
That's kind of what our goal is, is to work with a group like
Yeah.
that knows what they're doing.
And that's one of the reasons we wanted to delay the purchase a little bit, just so we could try to get a lot of that lined up. So we want to be very deliberate about every step we take. We don't want to take I'm sure we will make missteps, but we want to think every step through and be deliberate and do it right. So, but that's the plan.
What business are you two guys in?
Run a geotechnical investigation company. We do earthquake evaluations and that sort of thing.
And can I get your ages?
52, 53. You're 50?
50?
I'm 53.
3 and 50.
Yeah.
53 and 50, okay.
I'm 39.
I just turned 50. I haven't said that very often. I'm not sure how I feel about saying that.
Is that it?
Thanks.
Thanks.